Alright, I'm gonna make a short video. So came out here because I watched a video on 80s and 90s and just older trucks in general, and so it's like just kind of got me thinking of how these older trucks are really so simple, yet not the best on fuel mileage. But it's like these trucks really were built at a different, different stage and in time, as you can see. Don't mind the drinks in the cup holders, but you had just simplicity. Now this is a different trim model. This is a Chevy Cheyenne version, which the Silverados had like power windows and all this other stuff, and even in 94. But see, you have the speedometer and everything, so no tach until at least 94. But I mean, look how simple that dash is, though. It's like, you got the calculator freaking stereo system that I did bypass because I like listening to CDs and everything. And I don't like this. I really don't. This also, note how wiggly loose it is. They don't actually respond to the freaking wipers. They only do so much. Like, you can have them on for 5 seconds and all of a sudden they're, you go and turn it off and your wipers are still going. I liked it better down here. If you actually had a vehicle from the 80s and even late 80s, I believe, even for Ford, and some Chevys, you still had your turn signals up here, but you had your wipers right here, and you had your pull out for your lights. Now obviously if I was in a Ford right now, this entire setup, even being a 93, would look totally different. But even for a truck like this, it's like, yes, I have a magnetic thing that I bought at the store and whatever. Still haven't gotten around to that yet, but there's a certain amount of things that I did for this truck. This back rear view mirror even being included. Like, look how much you can see versus out of the older ones. It's like, you couldn't even be able to see the box rails from the stock one that is still there. I also love how I added my horns to the front end of the truck. But anyway, it's like, the overall design of these older trucks in 93, they were still metal. Still had the simplicity of everything, which is very nice. Didn't have any of didn't have too many electric stuff going on with it, but it's like, overall, I like the older trucks way better because it's like just overall simplicity, driving ability. Like, I don't get what's wrong with even my generation. It's like, you don't need to go 160, 180 kilometers an hour. Miles, it's obviously going to be a lot different, obviously. So that, I don't know, maybe 130 miles an hour. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, it's like these things were made to go 140 The 95, they were made to go like 160, 180. And, I just still don't think that's really necessary in today's day and age, because you really don't need to go 140 kilometers an hour. It's like no speed limit ever goes to 140 in Canada. You may be going like 85, 90, in America, but you're not going to get that anywhere here. And hell, even if you are pushing it to about 80 miles an hour, it's still a $1.30, so you don't really need to, do that much. Just a wide rant. I'll even go outside here. And I also like this about older trucks: manual lock. And it doesn't matter if I were to leave the keys in the truck. I'm not going to, because I locked the door. Well, leave the keys in the truck, shut the door. And it's so great because it doesn't lock itself. So you don't have to worry about locking your freaking keys in the truck. And if anyone knows anything about older vehicles, let's have my backup lights on there. But if anyone knows anything about the older vehicles, I had two were like this. You technically don't need a key to open this. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But even this thing sits a little bit lower. I put the badges on there. But I mean, for the overall style that I went for, it's really badass freaking automobile. So it even still has the sticker that came from factory. Box is beat up, but it's a truck. That's what it got used for. And it's like, these trucks really were freaking built at a different time. Even putting some more pressure on it, yeah, you could dent that. But, why would you really want to? It moves the entire truck. It's not something that you can easily dent. So if your ex or someone really wants to frickin' kick in that tailgate, go ahead. They might break their foot, over something newer. It's, I don't know, there's something about owning an older vehicle that some of this younger generation won't understand. That's my cousin Evan's truck, brand new Ford F-150. It's all right. He's earned it. Stepping into something like this Ford, I will show it off. Sport edition, crew cab. Cool freaking steering wheel. All this other BS. I'll cover up his plate as much as I can, but look at this thing. It's a nice truck. Got cool freaking wheels, side steps, and everything. Freaking vehicles have come a long way since the 1990s, 80s, and 1913. It's like not all of them had great freaking fuel mileage. This thing doesn't have great fuel mileage. It's exceptional. It gets 16 to 20 on the freaking website there. But, it's, if you can get 20 if you don't really put your foot into it. But, if anyone that knows about the 5.7 V8s, it's like, you like hearing the frickin' that engine scream. So you're gonna probably step on it. But it's like, for younger people didn't know. Yeah, she had 2 keys. Don't open up the door. Nowadays you just have freaking stupid keyless entry and everything. And it's like, even Chevy did that back in like 95 or wherever. They did have manual door locks, don't get me wrong. They did have manual door locks still, but it's like, even with having manual door locks, even in the 2000s was great. Ford still does it. If you buy any XL model of their truck, I think almost any XL model has the roll-up door hand or door thingamadoos. Can't think of the name right now. These freaking things, they still have them, which is nice. Freaking even being in like 2023, 2024, it's like something that you wouldn't even think that, someone still has. I know freaking Chevy doesn't have them anymore. Dodge doesn't have them anymore. Freaking Ford still has them because, they still treat their vehicles like they're still like, they're work vehicles. They always will be work vehicles. That's why I still even like Ford. It's like, yeah, I'm a Chevy person and everything, but I like the older Chevys. And by older, I know it's like, first one I wouldn't even mention would be even old at all. I'd say like the 2002 to like almost all the way back. I'd say I go as far back as like the 1950s. But it's like for Ford, even it's like, it would be not as new because I don't like the new ones. I'd say it goes from 97 all the way back. But why for new for Chevy? I did like the style all the way up until 2002. They had certain tail lights. They had the brake light, the turn signal, and the backup light. And they did that all separately. They had the brake light. It was obviously red. And then the turn signal was a nice amber. And then, your backing up was obviously white. Unlike every truck that you see nowadays, is like the brake lights are freaking red and everything. So, which means when you're going the turn, it's also red. When you're backing up, that's a different story. That's that's bright white. Or if you have the backup lights like I do, you can still see at night. But you kind of get the point that I'm kind of trying to breach and everything. It's like, you just don't get vehicles like this anymore. It's just like when you get the behind the wheel of even the 90s, Chevy, Ford, even a Dodge, you really like enjoying driving these trucks, or at least I do. It's just like, I get I could have any new vehicle if I really worked hard enough, but I'd rather make this 93 almost look brand new. Obviously, I'm not going to make it totally brand new because there's a lot of things that I wouldn't change on it. But as far as the seats and everything, yeah, the seats are going to get changed. And if you know anything about me, if I have an extended cab, I don't ever have back seats. Because, I'm going to want to keep stuff in them. It's like, tools, more tools, other stuff for other things, and still I like older vehicles better than newer vehicles. That's why I traded a newer vehicle for this frickin' truck, and I don't regret it, not one bit. It's a great frickin' vehicle, and I have an amazing build plan for this. Anyway, thank you for listening to my my 15-minute rant or talk, or just overall watching me ramble on. Well, until the next time I want to talk about something, rather it's about boats, bikes, or anything I don't like about today's day and age. Till next time. Later.